Welcome to part 6 of episode 4 of Tablet Talks. We are in here. I'm your host. I'm your author. I'm your fellow friendly neighborhood spirit just in the universe. Like we're right next to each other. It doesn't matter where you are. I will be your friendly neighborhood Tehuti, aka Chase Clarence Calloway, aka Hermes Trismegistus, aka Symmetry. Keeping it balanced here with how we get this wisdom out. And that's what all of life is about, balance. All these light white supremacists want life to just be singular, to live in their desire. And that's how we get obesity. That's how we get heart disease. That's how we just get constant ego problems that only come out of overconsumption. Humans should not be dying from overconsumption. Like the people who are dying from overconsumption are dying from overconsumption because they're stealing all the resources from the indigenous peoples who are now dying from underconsumption, from malnutrition. And they try to call it a population problem, as if it's not just an overconsumption problem. Desires. So yeah, we keep it balanced over here. All right, with Symmetry, with Tehuti, we know that life is equilibrium. All of life is created from a beautiful man and a beautiful woman coming together to create a beautiful child. And that child is the external world. That chi is what is the communication of all of our imaginations and feelings. We are all our own children based on how we marry ourselves internally, based on how we have sex internally with our thoughts and feelings, our men and women. Because if you're new here, then just know, don't get lost. Whenever I say man and woman, I am not talking about how things look. You can look like a man and straight up be and resonate with a woman. It's not, and the fact is, you have to be balanced in both of those to even express yourself at all. So everyone has a spectrum. Everyone has like their choice of where they decide to sit on the scale of just emotion. Like I'm more emotional versus I'm more thoughtful, which is just like a specific emotion. And that's where thoughts get detailed and we get all the leaves on a tree, you know, where it's like they all look different and like they seem different, but it's like they're not, but they are. They're all unique individual leaves. And unique and individual spirits are taking up the space to create those leaves that then look the same just because they need to relate in some way. This is why like we all quote unquote look human, even though humans can look vastly different inside of themselves. That's only because we're already used to what a human looks like. So really, what is different? You know, so, hey, welcome to Tablet Talks. This is, part 6. We're just jumping right back in here with this more grounded, practical tablet that's basically weaponizing my origin story. So it's not really true. Like, it's like, if you were to ask me like what parts are true, what parts are false, I would have to tell you all of it's false. This is all wrong. And it's just weaponizing the truth to push a lie. So the point of this series, as we decolonize, decode, and decrypt and decipher these texts, is to point out the truths that are being used to push the lie and then expound upon the truths so that we don't actually get lost in the lies that they're trying to use the truths to point us to. On that, let's get some smoke in the air, bro. Oh man, listen to the voice of wisdom. Listen to the voice of light. There are mysteries in the cosmos that unveiled fill the world with their light. Let he who would be free from the bonds of darkness first divine the material from the immaterial, the fire from the earth. Know that as earth descends to earth, so also fire ascends unto fire. And we just covered that in the last episode, where to make that work real quick, your fire, your awareness, is using your earth structure body inside of this structure to gain experiences that it can only gain inside of this structure. So when your body dies, it's talking about the earth the body restricted to the simulation you're in, returning to that simulation. And then your fire would take all the experiences from that simulation back into your original imagination, which is your intention for why you went there in the first place. So before you create a life, you have an intention, you have a reason why you want to step out of your space and go on this journey in a body in this other world. And then when you create that life and you're going through it, it's up to you to actually remember why you're in that life and then do whatever you got to do so that by the time you die or transform out of that simulation, you can go back to your spirit in a greater awareness so you can create your own simulation. You feel me? He who knows the fire within himself shall ascend unto the eternal fire and dwell in it eternally. Fire, the inner fire, is the most potent of all forces, for it overcomes all things and penetrates all things of the earth. Now, this is very Martian understanding of fire. Like, I wouldn't really speak about fire in this way, although it is true. Like, to make it work, it is true. Fire is the desire to express oneself. So you're not going to see anything ever if it does not have the desire to express itself. And that's just it. You literally just won't see it at all. You can't. It's not part of the observable universe. It's to fire to join in with everyone else. That's the point of water. Water in the astral realm is meant to have every spirit cool down their imagination so that they can learn how to connect before they then learn how to really project their vision. Because the only reason why people want to connect is so they can project. I mean, really, like, if you think about it, right? Like, why do you have friends? Why do you want to go talk to people? Like, everyone wants to be understood. Like, I mean, I feel this inside of myself. This is the whole point of, like, being able to talk about it, especially in this human body with this language. Spirits want to have relationships with other spirits that agree with them, that are in resonance with the ideas that they're holding. So it's very powerful and important, like this tablet is talking about when it's saying discourse with the ignorant and the wise, because honestly, you don't even need to label people in the way of ignorant and wise. So the moment you only want to talk to people that agree with you, it's because you desire to blind yourself with your own light. And now you're only going to block yourself off from the truth of infinity, because light is a lie and light is projection. And that's why light is projection, is separation. And it's really just going to be you looking at yourself. So water it teaches spirits, because the only reason that they really want to build any relationship is because they want to look at themselves in others, and they want others to appreciate them for who they truly are. And that's like really what it comes down to. Everyone feels that. Like, you're supposed to be in relationships in general, all relationships. Not supposed to, but you generally desire to be in relationships with people who understand you. And forget the English language. Under makes it sound like they're subordinate. Understands you, right? So like, you want to be in relationships with people who you feel like agree with you, and you resonate on the same ideas. Because that's how you're actually going to build something sustainable. This is when we're talking about actually building life. Spirits, this is very subconscious. This is innate. This is always going to be forever a thing. It's just like, what vibration, what level of life are we doing it in? So when a spirit like wants to connect, it's because they want to project. And to truly connect, though, you have to learn how to fully reflect. So that's why it's so important to listen. And this is what listening is. Listening is letting everyone project onto you. Because the moment you start projecting, you are cutting yourself off from everyone else's projections. So that's why, grounded wise, you can't listen to people and speak at the same time. Like, how are you going to be talking while someone else is talking to you, and then you're like getting that you're not really. And like, you can do it. It's not like impossible to be speaking and then someone else is speaking at you and you're registering what they're saying. That being said, no, Like the point is that the moment you start speaking, you can't really hear other people because you're focusing on what you're saying. And this is why like people can look like they're listening, but really in their head, they're just thinking really loud about what they're going to say once you're done talking. You know, and that's where you get people who act like they listen, but then over time you see that they don't. Um, because you're like, hold up, if you were listening to what I said, you wouldn't ask this question or like think that or be able to say that even. And so then it just shows like the more you sit with them, the more you learn like, oh, okay, you're actually just projecting what you want to say and you're not really listening to what I'm projecting. So now we just have two fires colliding, and that's how you get that's how you get temperature, temperament and temperature. That's how you get war. Is two fires colliding and no one's listening. That's literally what temperature is on a metaphysic level. Um, so very important to listen and learn how to like let people project onto you. Because what's really fun is learning, just like super learning. Like the more people project onto you, you get to learn about the space that they're in, and the space that you're in to even perceive that projection, and really just the universe overall, and the universe outside of you. Because if you're only interested in what you're putting out, then you are your own ego. Like you are only in like full desire of seeing what makes your awareness right now comfortable versus what your spirit actually wants you to go through in this lifetime. So that's where you as a body can easily block yourself off from your spirit just based on projecting your light and only wanting to see what makes you comfortable and be reflected and echoed in whatever you already believe versus always being open to something new, because that newness might be way more in resonance with who you truly are. And you just don't know yet because you already are so attached to this idea of who you truly are. All eyes do not see with the same vision. Facts. Spirituality is individuality. So all eyes do not see with the same vision because your eye is a physical structure created to show how you want to see your own imagination. So when a spirit projects, this is why light is just about projecting in terms of like you're only going to see yourself. And why like eyes light is so deceitful. To see things, it's deceit. Instead of feeling it out. Because an eye is literally just there when we are thinking spiritually. A spirit going from nothing into something, it is shooting fire out. And shooting this fire out is its own self-expression. And it literally can't see that until there's something else reflecting it back to itself. So that's where the eye comes in as well. Because the eye is literally the structure that can only perceive a light that is bouncing off of itself. So if a spirit wants to see its own imagination, it has to create eyes. And then that's where we get just refracting light in general. And yeah, all the science on how eyes work, blah, 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 blah. But the point of eyes overall is so that a spirit can see its own imagination. So that trickles down physically into this reality in terms of this may not literally be your imagination, but it is a product of your imagination. And then your eyes, you are only able to see things the way that you see them. Like you can't actually know how anyone else sees things. So many people, I'm like truly astounded by how differently they see the world. Even just like when we think about glasses, you know, like taking your eyesight for granted. Like no matter where your eyesight is, it could always be worse. And there's someone who has worse eyesight than you, almost always, unless you're blind. And then in that case, you're just actually in pure feeling mode. And then that's where we have vibrations, and you're living a different kind of lifestyle that the world is definitely not equipped to handle and is not set up intelligently for it all. But you're awesome. With yeah, that whole quote unquote inability, right? Because every disability just enhances other abilities. So yeah, this is why eyes, your vision, no one can see your imagination, no one can see your dreams, only you. And then it's up to you to create your dreams in this reality so you can see them. And then when your eye sees what you manifest, now it believes in itself. This is the point of eyes, right? Right there, metaphysically. For to one an object appears to one form and color, and to a different eye of another. Absolutely. So also the infinite fire changes from color to color. Yes. It is never the same from day to day. Yes. Your flame cannot be tamed. Thus speak I, Thoth, of my wisdom. For a man is a fire burning bright through the night, never quenched in the veil of the darkness, never quenched by the veil of the night. So man, at this point, is just a light. A light is a fire burning bright through the night. And then that's just a star. And then that's what a spirit who's uniting its imaginations and feelings internally looks like. Into men's hearts I looked with my wisdom, and found them not free from the bondage of strife. Free your fire from these toils, O my brother, lest it be buried in the shadow of night. Hearken, O man, and listen to this wisdom. Where do name and form cease? Only in consciousness, invisible, in infinite force of radiance bright. Truly, the forms you create by brightening the vision are merely effects that follow your cause. Man is a star bound to a body. Light consciousness bound to an earth structure, until in the end he is freed through his strife. Only by struggle and toiling your utmost shall the star within you bloom out into new life. And if I were to just translate right that, water fast. Water fast, do psychedelics, but don't do psychedelics intelligently. We're talking about dying without dying. That's fasting. Fasting is you learning that you are greater than this body. And fasting is you learning how to bring your infinite spirit potential into this realm instead of being limited in this realm by what is provided to you. Because that's what it means to consistently rely on eating. And then that's how whatever spirit is creating your food is just trapping you with vibration and frequency. Because you're not eating your own thoughts and feelings. He who knows the commencement of all things, free is his star from the realm of night. Remember, O man, that all which exists is only another form of that which exists not. Everything that has being is passing into yet another being, and you yourself are not an exception. This slaps now. See, hey, they got some cool stuff in here right now. It kind of slaps. I like it. Consider the law, for all is law. Seek not that which is not of the law, for which exists only in the illusions of the senses. I don't think it's a coincidence, by the way, that lost and law is the same exact word or frequency or vibration, just rhyme. It's the same thing to me. Literally just verbally, lost in the law, lostness. It's the same exact thing. It's about light. It's about being lost in light. Law is light. So that's where I don't really know if I would be saying it like that. The law is, again, more that Freemasonic English white supremacist authoritarian rule lording over you. So trying to make you, get in the law. But it's funny, just to me, the spirit always finds a way. It cannot be a coincidence that lost and law are the same exact vibe. All right, the spirit finds a way. Rhyming is great. In all realms and realities, we rhyme. Realms, realities, Rhyme. The three R's will keep us revving our engines forever. You feel me? Everything that has being is passing into yet another being. You yourself are not an exception. Consider the law. Yeah, none of that. For such exists only in the illusions of the senses. Cool. Senses, whatever. Wisdom comes to all her children, even as they come unto wisdom. So, just drilling in, wisdom is going to come from you fasting. So, true wisdom, even wisdom, like wisdom is like wing and then like kingdom. And that's just how my brain works. So when we're talking about like being like a free bird, that's wisdom. Like when you're flapping your wings, and fasting is about that. Fasting is about not eating what is in the world around you and instead eating your own mentality so that you can raise your vibration to meet your spirit. And then just operate more from that space in general. And then that's where like synchronicities come into play and just like all the cool spirit life stuff, where now you created eyes to see your own imagination. You get to start seeing your imagination manifest in front of you more. And then you start to believe in yourself more based on how this light is reflected back at you. All through the ages of law, the light has been hidden. Awake, O man, and be wise. Deep in the mysteries of life I have traveled, seeking and searching for that which is hidden. Listen, O man, and be wise. Far neath the earth's crust, in the halls of Amenti, mysteries I saw that are hidden from men. Oft I have journeyed the deep hidden passage, and looked on the light that is life among men. There, neath the flowers of life ever living, I searched the hearts and secrets of men. I found that man is but living in darkness, that the light of the great fire is hidden within. Darkness, in this case, is chaos. So it is like, when we think about darkness, the English language, this especially, they run from darkness. They run away from indigenous peoples. They fear indigenous peoples. They fear the emotion. They fear the divine feminine. They fear the cosmic magic. And they logically do their best to control it by turning earth into metal with their fire. So when a lot of the time it's talking about darkness and stuff, it is ignorance, because, and it's to flip it, darkness is not ignorance. Light is ignorance, because you are ignoring what is in the darkness. When you shine a light on something, you're only able to see yourself. This is just where, like, of course, naturally down here, it then very much looks like when you're in a dark room, when you put a light on, you can finally see things for as they are. But really, you're only seeing them as you've been programmed to see them. So there's a balance always. Before the lords of hidden Amenti, I learned the wisdom I gave unto men. They are masters of the great secret wisdom, brought from the future of infinity's end. 7 are they, the lords of Amenti, overlords, the children of morning, sons of the cycles, masters of wisdom. Are they not formed as the children of men? The titles of the masters of men are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I hope it's about to get into what each number represents, because I'm excited for all that. I love this. I love this. They live forever, yet are not of the living. They are not bound to life and are free from death. Facts. They rule forever with infinite wisdom, bound yet not bound to the dark halls of death. So I've gotten questions about these masters. We are the masters of these numbers. So the way we express ourselves and the linear way, right? Like, because numbers, the point is that they are linear. The linear way in which the universe expands is spirits creating an imagination, feeling like connecting, so they communicate and then build structures, which allows them to do that with other spirits. And then they ascend out of that world so that they can then build a new world with the experiences that they made in that structure, hopefully with spirits that they resonate with in that world. And then that's where spirits start to build families over lifetimes, because they are constantly creating and learning about themselves and getting more and deeper in resonance with other spirits who have decided to step out and also create and do stuff. So this number lord stuff is just like how we inevitably like look logically when we're expressing these certain aspects of our spirit. That is like a full circle. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because, yeah, what? Circle, 3, 6, 0. So a circle is a 360. We know 3 plus 6 is 9. So really it's 3, 6, 0, and 9 is in there. So that's where, if you were to box that out, you have a square. And it's all there in geometry. Far from the future, formless yet forming, they came as teachers for the children of men. They live forever, yet are not the living. Cool. They have life in them, yet it is life that is not life. Free from all are the lords of the all. Free from all are the lords of the all. From them came forth the logos. They are instruments of the power over all. Vast is their countenance, yet hidden in smallness. Formed by a forming, known yet unknown. Okay. So yeah, it's truly like it's putting it in the whack perspective of these are lords that are like some entities, like it said this earlier, outside of space and time. There is nothing outside of space. Get your whack ass imagination out of here, please. Like, how can you have something outside of space? Like, that just really shows like a spiritual child or someone who wants to get people lost. You are space. Everything exists within space. It's inside of space. There's always going to be more space on the outside to then create in. You could literally be creating your whole own universe and then meet a whole different universe that was expanding. And the only way that you're connected is through nothingness, space. And if you as a spirit only desire to see yourself and they as spirits only desire to see themselves, these universes will infinitely seem separate and they will never connect because they are only connected by desirelessness. And because none of the spirits in that simulation are desireless, they only desire to resonate with each other, they're separate. But it's all going to be connected. Like, you can do anything, you can be infinite and go anywhere. Once you get this light, white supremacist, Christian, Judeo programming out of your subconscious mind and know that you are nothingness. Because once you're nothing, you can be something in your nothing. Like, that's the point of this number stuff. The 9 is an ascended 1 because it's you bringing your awareness from the simulation that you chose to be in back to your individual nothingness so you can then expand the universe, just do what you want, have more freedom with these experiences and this light body. You're a very hot commodity. This is why all the other spirits around you want to impinge upon your freedom. This is why everyone in your life wants you to believe in them. This is why everyone wants your attention. This is why social media, movies, everything, literally everything needs your attention. Everything needs your time because your time is the most valuable thing in existence. Your time is the logical blocking out of you feeling like creating life. That simple. Three holds the key of all hidden magic because 3 is communication. So when you understand that everything's communicating, you can have any superpower. Like when I watch these Marvel movies or just like any comic book, anything, any human power, any superpower a human can have, guess what it's coming down to? Communication. Always, always. It doesn't matter what the power is. It doesn't matter what the ability is. It's only possible because of how they combine their 1 and 2 into 3. How they get their feelings and emotions, instead of feelings and emotions, their thoughts and emotions into a communicated way that can actually ground what that looks like, which is then an infinite detail of superpowers. So if you feel a high vibration and then your thought is carrying your body through the air, boom, you can now communicate that into flying. If you feel a angry vibration and then your thought is to destroy the enemy in front of you, boom, this anger and this thought to destroy the enemy, if you have the biology of a Saiyan, you can go Super Saiyan, and then you'll break through whatever boundaries and what borders you had set up for yourself at the time, just based on emotion. It's always going to be communication, though. Always. The only way that my body's moving is communication. So superpowers are an extension of our body moving. So this is why 3 is the key of all hidden magic, because 3 is your communication. 3 is everything that you see. And then 4 is really grounding that. Sending forth power, shrouding with darkness, binding the souls of the children of men. He is the creator of the halls of the dead. See, like, they're literally talking about it like entities outside of yourselves. They literally are only trying to get you to worship things, and you should not be worshiping anything. Like, no real spirit wants to be worshipped. I do not like that. It is not good times to build a relationship with any spirit who's worshiping you. Because I promise, any reason, like, you would have to, like, not be wise or have, like, your own desire and thing to, like, use other people for it. But it's like, that's extra. You would have to be ignorant to the fact that everything's subconsciously connected. And when someone wants something or loves you, it's because you're fulfilling a space in them that you cannot see. So really, they're consuming you. They're not actually creating with you. That's what worship is. Worship is being consumed. It doesn't matter what all these people look like who are worshiping me and all the things that they're bringing me and logically, supposedly trying to enrich my life with. It is subconsciously because they want something, because they want to consume something from me. And that's where that shit gets scary, because then it's like, what? Why? When? Like, all that's the internal stuff. This is the fire and water that reality is created from, but we can't see. That's way more astral realm things. That's way more subconscious, and life is subconscious. So 3 is what the subconscious looks like. 3 is the first consciousness. So when it's talking about 3 binds the souls of the children of men, it's just saying, like, 3 is the chi that binds you, connects you to the simulation that your spirit has chosen to create a body inside of. He is the creator of the halls of the dead, sending the darkness, binding the soul force. He is the director of negative to the children of men. Okay. 4 is he who loses the power. He is Lord of life to the children of men. His body is light, his countenance flame. He is the freer of souls to the children of men. Okay, so 4 is judgment. So 4 is what happens when everything is communicating perfectly, and then the spirit has a logical idea about what that should look like, which is why now we have the infinite ways in which we can communicate. You're not going to have life working if it's not communicating, right? Like, literally AI, all this technology needs to communicate internally and then communicate with this whole network that's set up. Everything has to communicate for life to work. So that's just where the logical idea of what that looks like is 4. And that's more limiting, because that's the point. You limit yourself, you ground it. Limit and grounding being 2 different words to point at the same energy. That's like, it's not negative, it's necessary. Even negative and necessary are 2 words to almost point at the same energy. Not bad. Negative and necessary. It's necessary to be negative. If you weren't negative, you would have never split away from nothingness to create something. That's what it means to be negative, to separate. So 4, when it says he who loses the power, that would really just be because 4, in this case, for humans, 4 is about being grounded so much in the body that you forget that you're a spirit. and now you're actually lost in light. You're lost in the flesh. So then that's where his body is light, his countenance flame. He is a freer of souls to the children of men. And the body is meant to free your soul. That's where this body, this is very beautiful, awesome technology that you felt like creating for yourself to use in whatever ascension purposes you have. And that is the point of 4 in this like flipped way. Like when you have earth, you're grounding the way in which you're going to ascend and gain freedom. And this is why it's a sine wave. So it's like you're becoming the densest you possibly can, so you can fully learn and like ingrain in a deeper, slower, more almost like methodical, stable, deeper, slower, and stable way. Your freedom of spirit, right? So this is like when we're down here in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension in the death realm, where it's like way more restricted because it's earth, preparing for a way more free life in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, which is way more associated with water and fire. Six is a lord of night. Oh wait, hold up. Yeah, so that was 4. Judgment, basically. 4 is judgment. So earth is judgment. You judged how you want to communicate, and then that is your ascension process, which then would be freeing your soul based on you getting into your 4-dimensional energy inside of that 4. 4 plus 4 is 8 after all, 8 being the soul. So 5 is the master, the lord of all magic. He is key to the word that resounds among men. 6 is a lord of light, the hidden pathway, path of the souls of the children of men. Okay, so when it says 5 is a master, 4 is structure, stability. 5 is transformation. So all structures, the moment you stabilize something and say like, okay, this is this forever, it immediately can't be, right? Because the spirit, the only constant is change. So this is why nothing can stay the same forever. And the ego becomes more and more demonic the more it desires to stay in one place forever and not change. So this is what we're finding the balance in constantly, is like, how much do we stabilize ourselves before we just get lost in light, which is getting lost in our ego, and then we create hell. This is why hell is the densest place anywhere. Just that concept, that idea of being in hell. It's about being lost in your light. Because, yeah, now you can't see how all the light that seems to be external and hurting you is actually being created from your own feelings. So you're actually just stuck there for eons on what is time at that point. So 5 being transformation, the lord of all magic, he is the key to the word that resounds among men. Yeah, to be real with you, the key to the word that resounds among men, just listen to what I'm saying. 5 is transformation, all of that. Okay, so 4 is a structure. The moment you build a structure, it must transform, because everything is spirit, and the spirit is change. That's nature. Nature is constantly changing, but then it's still in the order. There's a cycle, all right, because it's all of us as individuals creating nature. So it's deep. It's awesome though. I mean, why have it any other way? Why shouldn't we be creating life? It's just then, yeah, nature is what life naturally looks like when we create it at any time. So that's the wisdom. This is, yeah, that's extra. So just know that 5 is transformation, but then the point of 5 is to master transformation. And that's where you get 6. So 6 is you fully mastering light, fully mastering 1, 3, which is your balanced and whole masculine, and then your other 3, which is your balanced and whole feminine. Bringing those together creates 6, because that shows how you have sex, how you have 6 within yourself. And you're constantly having 6 within yourself. So that's a transformation, right? So you shouldn't, if you're focused on leveling up, would never want to stay the same. Like, the point is to always grow. That's the Dragon Ball Z stuff. That's why anime resonates with so many spirits, because spirits know that they should be on a path of just constantly leveling up and reaching new heights and creating the mountain as they're climbing it. They know this, like, internally, on a even nothingness level. So it then becomes admirable, and it's fun to project into that, because really that is uncomfortable and really hard to do, and there's a lot of stuff with that. So that's the, you know, the warfare. So yeah, when it says 6 is a lord of light, the hidden pathway, the path of the souls of the children of men, just know, like, 6 is freedom, because you're constantly having 6 inside of yourself. And when you have harmonious 6 inside of yourself, so your man and your woman are happy and they're just like in harmonious relationship, just very awesome together, like they're collaborating constantly, then that's going to transform. They're growing together, they're both changing, they may like split apart and come back, you know, you got your own stuff going on internally and all that stuff, but the point is that it's all part of the spirit having sex and the spirit being in control of how it's having sex, so that it can have a way more conscious awareness on how it expresses the way it has sex internally, externally. And that's all of life. So 7 and 8 and 9 are like the spiritual segments of numbers, where like 7 is a lord of the vastness, master of space, and the key of the times. So like, when it said, okay, so master is the lord of vastness, master of space, and the key of times. 7 is thought. So space is not thought. What space looks like is thought. So when you think about any space that you can observe, that was created by a thought, by a spirit combining their imaginations and feelings to then stabilize that in a thought that communicates who they are. This is why then every thought vibrates at a certain frequency. So anything you can see is vibrating a certain way. So yeah, when it's just like, that's what space looks like. And then time is more thought stuff, because time is the logical blocking out of how feelings change. Like, at what point does happiness become content, become sad, become depressed? And then really it's like, what does that look like? And that's, time is so much, so many things, so many much things. So that's where like, that is 7. 7 is consciousness overall, like spiritual consciousness, the spiritual light. 8 is he who orders the progress, who weighs and balances the journey of men. So 7 is created from 8. So 7 is your consciousness. This is created from your subconsciousness, which is the infinite 8 dimension. So that's why 8 is he who orders the progress. Your progress of consciousness is only powered from your subconscious. Like, everything that you perceive and do consciously is only informed by everything that has subconsciously already happened and is happening. Everything that you see has already happened. It's already happened in the invisible realm, and it took quite a bit of time for it to trickle into the physical world for now you to be able to react to it from your invisible world. And then based on how constantly you react to it, it may trickle down into this physical world as well. So this is just weight when we're talking about. So when it's saying who weighs and balances the journey of men, that's 8. 8 is weight, because 8 creates time. 8 has people waiting, because really 8 is everything. 8, you're only waiting in 8 because it's your infinite individual perspective on the universe, and you're not going anywhere. All you can do is wait, because it's just you. It's just you. It's just you feeling the infinite universe based on you feeling like connecting out of your nothingness. So that's the point of a soul, is one spirit's individual feeling or perspective on the feeling and perspective that it's connected to. So this is how we stay simultaneously connected and separate. Where the point of creating a soul is to connect with other souls, but you don't want to get lost in any soul. So always balance. And that's where, yeah, wait, like we're always waiting. Like what you can live forever, like we're living forever. We're not doing anything. We're infinite. Like really, like we're not going anywhere. We can seem like we're traveling however many miles or distances or galaxies we want. When we're a true spirit, we know that it's all nothingness and it's all here. So we can't go anywhere. We can't. We have to create things to create the illusion like we're going places. And then we create all these things to connect and communicate. And then really spiritually what we're doing is learning about ourselves. And like there's a lot of leveling up. That's where there's like this whole deeper thing to it, of course. So that's where 8 is the soul. 8 is the subconscious. So ways and balances and journeys of men. The only reason men are on any journey is because they subconsciously feel like it. So they're weighing themselves. They're judging themselves. No one cares about you but you. So your subconscious is constantly creating then its own demons and its own opposing thoughts, right? Like that's like the woman bringing down the man, quote unquote, in terms of the man, you have a thought, right? So you have this ideal frequency, and then your woman is everything that needs to counterbalance that. So it's not sustainable for you as a soul to only do what you want. This is why you have thoughts and emotions that balance out your true desires, or perhaps the true things that you feel like getting married to, because that's your man. These are like your ideas that seem to be a higher frequency or vibration than you. So it's about you feeling like marrying your own idea to become a higher version of yourself. That's really what it means to become an ascended one. And marry yourself so that you can just have true, like, infinite freedom. And yeah, that's really what it's getting into right here, actually. 9 is the Father. He is a vast countenance, forming and changing from out of the formless. So 9, exactly, is the Father. It is the further light. 9 is what you aspire to be. And you should aspire to be a higher version of yourself. So that's the point of you as a spirit. You're already everything, but you create low, dense vibrational situations for yourself so that you can then create higher thought forms to aspire to. And then that is you going back up to your spirit as you go up this journey and climb this mountain, so to speak. Meditate on the symbols I give you. They are the keys, though hidden from men. Not the way you explain them, but hey, welcome to Tablet Talks. We're about to wrap up this part. Reach ever upward, O soul of the morning. Turn your thoughts upward to light and to life. Find in the keys of the numbers I bring you, light on the pathway from life unto life. Seek with wisdom. Turn your thoughts inward. Do not close your mind to the flower of light. Place in your body a thought-formed picture. Think of the numbers that lead you to life. The pathway is clear to he who has wisdom. Open the door to the kingdom of light. Open this door. Pour forth your flame as the sun of the morning. Shut out the darkness and live in the day. O man, take as part of your being the 7 who are not as they seem. O man, I have opened my wisdom. Follow the path in the way I have led. Masters of wisdom, son of the morning, light and life to the children of men. Yep, we're ending it right here. I will see you in part 7 of episode 4. I like these tablets because it is I don't think the other 3 got nearly as detailed. And as a Virgo, really like the details. So glad that I could just share the number thing real quick, because this Lord stuff is whack. These numbers do not lord over us. Okay, we are not ruled by anything except ourselves and what we believe. And that's the order. We are ruled by ourselves, and then we're ruled by what we believe. And if we believe that we're ruled by something outside of ourselves, well, look at this. Now we've created that life, and now we are in that reality where we believe we're ruled by something else. So now we're fulfilling that thing space. And then it's like, at what point are you just going to believe in yourself and create your own thing? See you in part 7. I'm sure it'll get thoughtful.